fight, and that internal struggle can be one of the most challenging. So tell us about what made you decide, what was your point that said, okay, I'm going for ibogaine?
The starting point was my daughter. That was the starting point of I need to get better. But when I heard about ibogaine, it was on a podcast, Sean Ryan show. Guy named DJ Shipley, everything he was saying about his past life, it was just making sense to me, and I was like, this is exactly how I'm feeling. And that's where I felt the call of like, I need to go do this. I was like, and to be honest, it was my last resort. And I was like, if it can work for this guy who's had way more decades of experience than where I operated at, then maybe, just maybe it can work on me. And yeah, it did.
That's amazing. And those testimonials are so powerful.
Yeah.
So would you mind sharing, I know the ibogaine experience is very complicated, very deep, just physical, emotional, psychological, and even spiritual level. But would you mind sharing with us just a little bit about that ibogaine experience?
Yeah. Well, biggest thing was the hardest thing I've ever done. Like, it's not for the weak or faint-hearted. You have to have intention going into that, because if you don't, like, the medicine's going to meet you where you're at, and it's going to show you who you really are. It's funny, we talk about, like, talking with other people that have done ibogaine, there's a certain level of respect that just automatically is there, because we know, like, they go and face the deepest level of themselves. And for me, without getting too much into it, but it's very common when people do ibogaine that they go through like moments in their life very fast, in a fast pace, like a movie. It's like you just see all these moments. For me, all those moments were thoughts of suicide. So I had to live every thought of suicide I ever had. And when I'm saying it's years worth, it was years worth of just going through and just watching myself kill myself. And the idea of it, over and over again. And it made me like realize like that was just the starting point of it all. So.
And so did the ibogaine, by taking you through all those moments of suicide, did it tell you or show you what was behind the suicidal ideation?
Yeah, started layering back. It's like, hey, this is where it's starting. Like where your first self-hateful comment ever came from. And not only that, where you believed it. And that's the thing. Like, self-hate is, you can tell me whatever you want, like, curse me any way you want. There is nothing I haven't said to myself that I don't believe. So, I guess there's a superpower behind that, because it does build a resilience, but, yeah.
It's a double-edged sword. Yeah.
But yeah, that's where it started layering back.
And just so the audience can understand, and you don't have to go into the details of it, but I'm assuming that went back to a childhood moment?
Yeah.
Okay.
I went back to a childhood moment, and also the influencers of those thoughts. Like, people who I look up to. I still look up to those people to this day.
So as the ibogaine takes you through your suicidal ideation and some childhood experiences that were the core of that, where did it take you after that?
It wasn't, this whole thing wasn't physical. I was definitely somewhere else. As crazy as that sounds, it took me any doubt I had in my faith, it confirmed it that night, because that's when I realized who was really on my side and who really wants me to win. That's God.
So this, I think, highlights a really important part of the psychedelic experience that is, you said it sounds crazy, and I think we just don't have great labels to understand that, except to say that you went into this non-ordinary state of consciousness.
Yeah.
So here we are in an ordinary state.
Yeah.
But in these non-ordinary states, where you know that you're yourself, but you're altered, or the things around you are altered, or you perceive reality differently.
Yeah.
This is where so much healing can come in. So could you tell us a little bit more about how you understood that God was on your side, or that God even existed, or what that means to you? Because I think for everybody, that sort of spiritual experience of the non-ordinary state is different, and it depends on their own background.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's important to say that the drug doesn't induce any sort of belief system for anybody, but it does bring you more in touch with your own.
Yeah.
Is that, would you say that's correct?
Yeah, 100%. Okay. A lot of it's symbolism. So you see things that symbolize a lot of things to you in your faith, whatever that is. For me, there's a lot of symbolism of David and Goliath, Saint Michael. Keep in mind, I don't read the Bible, or not as much, especially at that time. Just going off of stories, and then ibogaine took me to a place where it just yanked me to a different dimension. I don't know how to describe it. But you just know what you're looking at. I knew what I was looking. I knew, for me, that was God. If that makes sense.
It does, because I think one of the parts of integration after people come back from these very powerful experiences where they go into different states is to validate that the symbolism and the messages and the experiences that you have in those non-ordinary states are also real.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they get left back in the experience and they don't get integrated into your life.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we're figuring out, how to do that.
Yeah, I've taking that, experiencing that, and then it's hard coming back. People don't realize how hard it is to come back from just what you experienced to this reality. And then...
Yeah, can you try to explain that?
Yeah. All those little things that make you mad, whether